Okay. Hey guys, most welcome to the next episode of the Vasudha Madaan Show. And today we have none other than, you can say, see the bright holiday mood adventures behind me? Yes, you can see a very bright and a spark in the room today. We have with us Mr. Tejbir Anand, and you would ask, who's he? Yes, he is the CEO and founder of Holiday Mood Adventures, and he also happens to be the vice president and the past president of All India Adventures Adventure Tour Operators Association of India. Indeed, a very prestigious and responsible place to hold, right? And let me tell you, he is a trained mountaineer and has helped many people attain their dream of reaching the peak while he's doing it himself. And there are a lot of other hats which he dons, which we will talk about across the conversation. So let's meet and welcome Mr. Tejbir Anand. Hello, sir. Most welcome.
Thank you, Vasudha. It's indeed a great honor to be here on this platform with you.
We are so honored that you're already saying that. Let's get going. Let's just dive into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, आप मुझको बताएं, before we kind of actually dive deep into leadership, I would love you to share with me and the audience alike your journey. How did you come to think of holiday mood adventures? How did you come at the peak of something like this? And what's been your personal journey behind the professional journey which we are seeing today?
Well, it's a very long answer, but nevertheless, even if I try to snip it, I will try and do that. I think the journey started way back when I was in school itself, and I was always a sportsman, and I used to play a lot of games. So going to the mountains was a great invitation which I got, and that was, I think, class seventh, and I went for a big expedition, a trekking expedition. Although I was a small boy, young boy, but never looked back, ever since. So, but when I came back from a first trek, I was so tired that my mom had to actually hospitalize me with a couple of glucose bottles because physically I was not ready for the terrain and I had no idea what I was going forward for. But my mom said, that good for you. एक बार हो गया अब दोबारा जाने की नौबत नहीं आएगी. But
Okay.
alas, neither did she know, neither did I know that I was bitten. I was like intoxicated with something which I'd seen, which was nature. And
Okay.
there is something which I'm sure everyone would agree it's so powerful, which actually it can move, uh, people, it moves the universe. Your learnings come from nature, and that's what happened to me.
Please
So, cut
share
short,
some. Yeah. No, don't cut it short. Please share some of those learnings with us.
yeah, I'm sure that during this podcast I'll keep on referring to the nature again and again. And
Beautiful. We're so looking forward to it.
so fast forward, so from school to college, and then I had an opportunity of joining a club of like-minded people, of adventurers, where I got a little polished. So I got an opportunity of after attaining my certifications as an instructor, as a mountaineer, I got an opportunity uh, of trip leading. So I started trip leading. I got an opportunity of becoming an organizer, and from there on, the business model kicked in. So by 1992, I was already doing business when I was just in college. So that was, great, and we never looked back from there. I also belong to a business family, which used to be renowned for the plywood and timber trade. So 10 years I did both. I was looking after the factories. I was manufacturing flush doors and laminates and plywood and wholesaling them. At the same time, I was at parallelly doing my adventure tourism business. Now, way back in the 80s, nobody had a clue as to what adventure tourism is all about. and leave alone mountaineering and trekking expedition. So people used to tell me कि ये बच्चे को संभालो, ये बच्चा कहाँ पहाड़ों में जा रहा है और बाबा बन जाएगा, साधु बन जाएगा तो फिर वापस भी नहीं आएगा. So you better make sure he never goes back again. But the destiny had its role to play, so it did play. By 97, I chucked my family business. I said I can't do it anymore because it was against my principles and belief. So timber comes from trees and by cutting trees. And this is to disturb me because I have been, my journey into the mountains, into forest, into the wilderness used to please me so much that the thought of trees getting cut and I'm selling a product, byproduct of the trees, used to bother me a lot. So with me and my wife, we are co-founders. Her name is Tejbir Anand. In 1997, we were driving. I remember this very clearly outside Taj Mansingh Hotel, going towards India Gate, and that's where we thought we'll
Yeah.
open this, company and pardon me, we'll call it Holiday Boots Adventures, and that's where
Nice.
it's born. Sorry. So two things happened in 1997. One, we had a first baby, our daughter, and we also had Holiday Boots Adventures, which was the second, kind of biological one, and second was, Holiday Boots Adventures. And
Wow.
this was very clear. It's etched in a memory as to where we were driving, what we were talking. But initially, we started off as just trekking tour operators because that's what we used to do. So rock climbing camps and taking people for treks in the mountains.
Hmm.
Even though like I said, in the 90s, very few people understood what we are doing. And today, adventure is a big word, and almost everyone goes for it. It's a new awakened country. Every nook and corner, you have decathlons everywhere, and so on. So now it's a very simple word and a very easy word to understand, but not in the
Right.
90s. Uh,
Right.
as we went ahead, we also understood that maybe for growth, we need to also invest into maybe some activity centers. So that's where we picked up a piece of land just outside Delhi. It's a place called the Hodge, which is very famous for rock climbing. These are the Rabri Hills, very hard rocks and good, safe rock climbing zone. And we were very lucky to pick up a piece of land around 12 acres where we started building a adventure activity center. And next year will be 20th year, so it's been 2 decades now that we've been up and running. So now it's taken the shape of a very nice, beautiful adventure resort.
But many congratulations on 2 decades.
Thank you. By 2014, we felt the need to expand and maybe launch outbound adventures. So I think we were the first company, or maybe the initial companies in India, to think about this, to vision about this, and we started, understanding how to sell outbound adventure. And my dream was to become a company where we were doing all 7 continents. So that was a very daunting task at that moment, and I didn't understand how we would do it. But here, as we stand today in 2023, we managed to complete this, and I think by 2018 we were operating at trips, in all 7 continents. I would say 1985 or 84 till 2023. So almost, maybe, I think, going to be 4 decades now.
Super. So, I mean, I've been listening to you with total raptness, and two things which really stand out for me. Uh, I'll call you a pioneer, right? Pioneer, not just in the family, because I understand it's not coming from a business family. I understand it's not easy to branch out from the family business. So you took the call, uh, the call of your love for the nature, and to stand for what you felt, your morals, your ethics, and to, of course, what you are doing right now. You are the pioneers, you are the leaders in the industry. So, doing everything for the first time always needs lot of courage, and I just hear the word courage throughout this story. So great. And many congratulations on being able to arrive at all the milestones you thought 20 years ago to arrive at. And it's great that you had grit and patience to reach all those and to be able to give all those years. It just shows the amount of self belief you have.
I don't know. These are very, very big words and very strong words. I really don't know. But all I do know is that whatever I dreamt, whatever I envisaged, uh,
Yeah.
I went for it, not
Yeah.
knowing whether I will arrive or I will not arrive at the destination. But interestingly, I arrived everywhere where I wanted to. Uh, and I had no money with me. I started off my journey with just 300 rupees in the pocket, which was the pocket money I used to get, way back in 1987 or
Wow.
88, like that.
Yeah.
So that's where we started off from. And today, God, because I used to zip zap and cross them, almost twice a year. So for me, that was a complete, no, no.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Now, listening to this, if I ask you, we are at a leadership podcast, right?
Right.
And if I ask you, what is the meaning of leadership for you after, I mean, for me, when I talk of leadership, it's always been like lead yourself first, right? But I see you've done that already many years ago. And I mean, uh, what is your take on what is leadership? Applying all the wealth of understanding you have found in these mountains, and of course, in your work and relationships and work dynamics. What do you think leadership truly is?
It's a very tough question to answer, but uh,
Mm-hmm.
the most simple statement which comes to my mind is that taking people along. So a leader would always take people along. That's who a leader is or should be. Is
Yeah,
ability to give more and take less. Less is more. Uh, Empathy with people. Think more about them, less about you, because one can always think about yourself. All the time. And you will definitely do what you want to do, because I learned from somebody. Somebody said that you always win. So I never. I've stuck to that statement. That how do you always win? So
hmm.
that friend told me that whatever you think, you always start believing in it. And you always work towards it. So you're always winning, always. Even if you're wrong and you think that you're right, you will always keep on winning. And every time winning is not correct. So, but you always win. So a great lesson, that I've taken from many people. Uh, Leadership is looking up to people and learning more from your mentors. And there could be hundreds of mentors. There could be, so many people you meet in life, and they have done exceptionally well. And I don't mean by wealth. I mean by knowledge, by by the sheer hard work they've done, uh, by maybe something they have achieved in life, which is phenomenal, which is not meant for a normal person in life. Yeah, so
Right.
maybe leadership. So some words, some few emotions. I think I can share when you say leadership.
Yeah. So nice. So well put. If I ask you two lessons in leadership, which mountaineering specially has given you, two lessons that you've derived mountaineering and you're applying it to life, and you know that they always make you win.
In mountains, it's always you never leave your buddies, never ever. You
Mm.
always walk together. You always climb together. Although there is solo climbing also in mountaineering, but Indians seldom do that. Most of it is with
Right.
team members. So it's a team effort. So mountaineering teaches you team effort, Mountain teaches you real life situations where people lose their life, people get injured, uh, people become friends for life. Uh,
Right.
like they say, best friends are made on the mountains. But maybe people understand that going on a holiday on a mountain, basically that means that, but what it means actually is that when you live together, when you die together, when you are on a rope, which is deciding your future of life and death, that is where you actually make best friends in the mountains. Mountains teach you so many things. Mountaineering teaches you safety. It teaches you to be very safe. It teaches you risk management, how to assess the risk, which can be lurking around or can be two steps ahead. So it
Mm-hmm.
us to understand that plan yourself far more better than you can. So there's never a plan B. We're always ahead of plan A. So the plan B is always there, of course, because many times things fail. But
Right.
when we assess the risk, plan B is always parked. It never kicks into action.
Wow, that's amazing that it never gets into action. Love that. The sound of that. Okay. So can you share with us some significant point in your career, uh, which which actually shaped you, and what exactly happened that you decided, okay, I mean, I'm not going to do this, and uh, like, I mean, it's a huge decision to pull yourself, snap yourself out of a family business. I mean, something, or maybe something else. I don't know. I'm not, oh, I don't want to assume anything. Anything you think was very, very significant which happened and has shaped you into who we are seeing right now?
Uh, very difficult question because there's no one event as such. But the first event was the first trek which I did for sure, because my business is very different. It's more like an avocation.
Right.
So when you stitch your profession and your passion together, it becomes an
Right.
avocation, and that's what I've been blessed with. I don't know of many people, who can very proudly say that, I'm doing what I'm liking. Most of my friends, always say that they're jealous of me, which is which is true because I keep on traveling the world all the time and I keep on working and I travel for work and I travel to those
Yes.
exotic locales where uh, people die to, or it's on the bucket list kind. So that's true. Yeah, so my first trek, and I always like to mention this friend's name. His name is Sanjeev Raval. He,
Hmm.
he was the one who was a catalyst who took me, on this trek, and we never looked back. I look up to him for a lot of reasons, a lot of learnings that I took from him. And by the way, we were in class seven. I'm talking about
Wow.
batchmate, a seventh class grade boy who I look up to because I in him I saw something which was so different. We are friends even today. We meet, once in a while. Yeah, so he was the first person. Second was, I think, our physical education teacher, Mr. I.P. Kapoor in Springdale School, Pusa Road, who was, pushing all of us to go for it, go for it. So I think he was the second one. Uh, yeah, at the school, I remember I also got uh, an award for excellence for mountaineering, which is very rare in Springdales because there's this used to not be there. The focus was completely on academics. And of course, co-curriculars, but sports was just
Wow.
a step below, and we were
Wow.
mountaineering. So I got an award for that. I remember that. Going ahead, many events, which and by the way, events which are negative, in the sense that uh,
Yes.
events where we were almost going to die or
Yes.
point of no return. So I've had multiple events, of such, which which of course sculpted me, uh, shaped me, made me think, sit back and ponder, maybe about life.
Yeah.
Maybe it made me more rational. It made me,
Uh-huh.
or it calmed me down. I don't get ruffled by situations very easily. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think I owe it completely to the mountain. Again, I say what nature has taught me, no teacher in school or college or any guru or anyone has taught me or can teach me, because what
Wow.
nature has taught me, uh, that's ultimate.
True, nature is truly, really the best teacher. And if there is really w- something which can ground us, it is it is always the nature. Uh, you just spoke about a few negative events which also happened, and you also dropped reference to near death experiences. One such incident that you would like to share with us where you had kind of this near death experience?
Well, they kept on happening, not just once, but I think I've had at least three, four of such, incidents. Uh,
Uh-huh. Something which very deeply impacted you?
yeah, so I think one of the events was way back in 1992 when we were four
Mm-hmm.
of us and we went for an expedition, and we made a lot of mistakes in that expedition right from the word go. Uh, the rule of the mountain is that the rule of thumb is that you always start early. You never ever start late, because late in the mountains means that the weather can turn bad, and it can, really be very costly. So
Mm-hmm.
we got a late bus, which was wrong. We landed in the middle of nowhere, which was wrong. We had to walk at night for, I don't know, 10 kilometers something, with backpacks as
Hmm.
being 30 kilos, which was wrong.
Yeah.
Then we did reach the base, the last road head. Again, we started at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which was wrong. We couldn't reach our first,
Hmm.
destination. So this was a trek in the Uttarakhand Himalayas in Gadwal called Pawali Kantha, and it's a
Hmm.
ridge. It's one of the most spectacular ridge in the Gadwal Himalayas, around 17 kilometers long. The view that you get is to die for. You can't get any
Yeah.
views of the mighty Himalayan peaks and the meadows from any of the trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to bivouac, and then finally, and we were not even having a guide with us. We didn't have a porter, we didn't
Oh,
have a guide. So all four of us, we were sharing all the load. So typically, how an expedition happens, so all the ration, the bartans, the stove, the
yeah.
tail, fuel. So somewhere in the trail, we lost our fuel. हम पेट्रोल को छोड़ के जहाँ रात को रुके थे, वहाँ पेट्रोल छोड़ दिया तो स्टोव क्या करेगा?
Oh,
We couldn't cook food, so we had to then go to Lakdi, and then we were very early in the trekking season. That was way back in April first week. Now April
oh,
first week the route is closed. It's not open.
yeah.
So there was a lot of snow, almost like thigh deep snow and waist deep snow. Uh,
Yeah.
and then the routes are covered with snow. So especially on a ridge,
Hmm.
can't see the trail because it's completely snowbound. But then we still went ahead. We trotted. We walked, in snow, and it reduces the speed by like 75%. So you're very slow. And then we lost our way finally. And on
Oh,
the ridge, 10 kilometers, ahead, we couldn't find the route. So we were looking towards left, we were looking towards right. And rather than turning back, we decided to descend down into the left side of the valley, not even knowing the route, because we were seeing a
oh,
small trail down below. We thought maybe, and we could also see the river Bilangana, and we could see a village across called Gangi. So
okay.
we thought that maybe we can descend down and into the forest, reach the river, cross the river, and reach the village, not
Yeah.
knowing that it's one of the the deepest forest in the Garhwal Himalayas, with so
Oh,
much of wildlife, uh, which
okay.
is like even today unparalleled. So we went down, we kept on descending, almost the gradient turned to 70 degrees. There was no trail, and then night, descended. So we had to camp. We did camp. हमारा राशन भी खत्म हो गया था काफी सारा.
Oh,
And then at night, we had a bear who came and he uprooted our tent. So
oh,
we managed to save ourselves, and then nobody could.
okay.
And this was the third day since we had lost the route. And then the following morning, we were so weak we couldn't even get up, and sorry. So when we camped because the route descended down into a waterfall. So we were standing at the
Oh,
head of a waterfall with with the water plunging down 400 feet or and more than that, very big waterfall. So there was a cliff on the right, there was a cliff on the left, and there was a waterfall in front, so we couldn't go anywhere. And we were descending without a route at a 70-degree incline and deep dense forest. So we camped over there where we had this encounter with the bear. And the next morning we were so tired we couldn't even move. Uh, and so we decided that who cannot make it, we will leave the friend behind so that we all go for it. Whosoever can save their life may save their life. But one of the friend, he said, okay, it's not possible. Nobody stays here, and we will all we will all go together. But I moved on. I moved on. Another uh, girl moved on, uh, and this friend did not, leave the fourth person behind. वो उसको खींचता रहा, उसको लाता रहा, whereas we were half unconscious, we couldn't even walk, leave alone climb. We had thrown away everything that we were carrying except for a sleeping bag and a jacket. सब कुछ फेंक
Okay.
चाय की छन्नी, I remember this very well. How much does a tea spray?
Way.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But we threw it away because we couldn't carry. We were so, tired and exhausted. But then
Okay.
this friend made sure that we all stick together, and we did. And we climbed all the way back. We found our way to the top, and on the top we found around dozen people. That was somewhere 5 o'clock in the evening, and we had started walking at 5 o'clock in the morning. So after 12 hours of climbing, we found a team which was from Gadwal Mandal Vikas Nigam. The managing director himself was there. He was trying to open the route, and then he saw our footprints, and they were like, somebody beat us to it. So route किसी और ने खोल दिया. Never knowing that
Amazing.
route खोला नहीं, हम तो मर गए थे literally. मतलब we were
Wow.
almost dead. But we
Yeah.
did save ourselves. So I think, yeah, that was one story that always, sticks to me, and amazing learnings from the story. All four of us are
Right.
still connected. Uh, yeah, so something which will go with me, when I exit this world. This story goes with me.
This is this is something. I don't have a word for this.
Yeah.
It's way beyond adventure. It's way beyond adventure.
Hmm. Mistakes from life, learnings from the mistakes as dear as they were almost going to cost their lives.
What do you think has changed forever? I mean, after having encountered such, are you sharing this is like just one of those things?
One of those.
Uh,
I've got
yeah,
multiple more stories to share, but nothing
yeah,
compared to this one. This was the most, moving one because this has so many tangents to it.
right.
Uh, it's got so many emotions to it because we remember this very well. We got pictures also at that time. Uh, we didn't have any money for buying a camera, so हमारे पास एक Russian camera होता था, one shared between all four of us. और वो भी हमको पता नहीं था कि photos खींचेगा नहीं खींचेगा. So, but when
Oh,
we came back, so we did develop the reel, and we
um,
do have some crazy photos because वो developing भी ऐसी हुई और साथ में उसने खींचा भी ऐसे. But we have some pictures to that expedition even till now.
wow. I am sure just looking at those pictures gives you goosebumps.
No, goosebumps only, but
Yeah,
it's a very fond memory in my head, my heart.
to have come out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So I just
It's
revisit it with
nothing
pride.
short of a miracle.
It is a miracle, that we got saved. Otherwise, possible nahi tha. But I just have a smile on my face when I remember the story here from my friends, and a great learning from that story.
So, what is that learning which, no matter what, you don't compromise on?
Like I said, so planning is something which I try and do.
Hmm.
uh, I try to do my risk assessments, as much as possible. चाहे ऑफिस का बिजनेस ही क्यों ना हो, चाहे किसी क्लाइंट का आइटनरी ही क्यों ना हो, so I assess, that nothing goes wrong. But even having said that, still somehow कभी कभार ऑफिस में गलती हो जाती है. We quickly try and arrest it. So if we can save the
Yeah.
situation, still it's well done.
Wow. Nice.
The
Hmm.
safety is prime. Being responsible is prime. You cannot ever make a mistake, like this. So yeah, trying to ensure that we always mitigate the risk. We always take people along and
Yeah.
we'll leave somebody behind. Like I left my friends to die. I walked ahead, ये देखी जाएगी,
Yeah.
do and die अब तो चलो यहाँ से देखी जाएगी.
Yeah. So many tough lessons. Oh, okay. So, just going in the flow, uh, we just heard about, you shared about the tough lessons you just derived out of these experiences. So, share with us, no, something when you have had to make a tough decision as a leader, and you think that kind of tested your skills, what you already believed in, and how did you handle it
Handle
as a
अपने
leader?
आप handle अपने आप हो जाता है, and I don't put myself in the shoes of a leader because there is no such shoe as a leader. Leader, I
Mm-hmm.
think, is somebody who is just one of us, and
Mm-hmm.
in a tricky situation, somebody who stands up and and makes the best of situations, saves people, or
Hmm.
finds a solution, automatically becomes a leader. As simple as that. And
Hmm.
that's what leadership is all about.
Okay,
So
so I let me use a different word then. Okay, as a decision maker.
yeah, so I have another story to share with you. So this was in 1999. We had launched our national level Himalayan trekking program where we used to find a trail, fix it, and a couple of thousand people used to come and walk on it. We
Mm-hmm.
were, I would say, we were kind of pioneers. Even at that time, nobody used to do that. Today, there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of operators who do the same business, but we
Mm-hmm.
did it with a difference that we never repeated the trail. So every year it used to be a new trail, and we used to never ever go back because it
Wow.
just pressure on the mother nature on that same trail, a lot of garbage, and the pristine thing goes away. So if you're all the time hundreds of people walking up and down the same trail, it becomes kind of a pilgrimage, and that is
How
sadly
noble.
our
Yeah.
country nowadays. So in '99, we had set up the trail again somewhere in the similar region, and we when so we used to load our trucks. So we had 3, 4 trucks fully loaded, departed from Delhi, going up to the mountains. But when we reached Rishikesh at night, we saw a lot of like the fairy lights, Diwali की जैसे लड़ियां होती हैं. So
Yes.
mountain, we could see some lights. I remember thinking कि आज कौन सा festival है, क्यों इतनी lights जल रही हैं,
Uh-huh.
and but anyway we kept on driving and we were late, so we had to drive throughout the night in the mountains to
Hmm.
reach base camp. But then as we climbed up in the mountains, we realized those ladiyan were basically forest fire. So we were crossing the roads through the forest fires, and
Hmm.
the temperature in the month of April in deep mountains in the Himalayan region, I remember, was 42 degrees at night. So,
Oh,
which is very rare because जैसे
yeah.
हिल स्टेशन में होता है तो रात को 4, 5, 6 डिग्री होता है and दिन में it is
Yeah.
around 20, but at night it was 42 degrees, and
Yeah.
trucks were literally going through the fire because left right में जंगल जल रहा है और बीच में से जा रहे हैं, and we had no clue what to do. But we reached
Hmm.
there, we actually saw that the entire hills were smoking all around us, and there was so much of heat, and we had around 2,000 people confirmed who were going to come to the base camp in a week's time. So we don't know what to do. So our reputation was at stake, our skill set was at stake. I had around 70 people with me who I was leading. I had
Hmm.
signed a trail because that trail, I couldn't do the trail. That was impossible. That was out of question. And we had people
Okay.
over India. So सबने अपनी flights, trains, सब book कर रखी थी. So imagine
Right.
2,000 people with their holiday completely set and ready to come, and I had no trail to fix. So then and those in '99 there was no, by the way, cell phone, and
Hmm.
था भी तो खाली वो Delhi and few metros में था, not up in the
Right.
mountains. So there was no communication.
Yes. Yes.
So in the morning we took a decision as a team that we'll turn around, not even knowing कि जाना कहाँ है, but at least यहाँ से तो नीचे निकलो. So we
Okay.
started, we all the four trucks, they turned around and we started driving down. We came down to Rishikesh because that was the only place to find a phone. So we
Hmm.
found a phone in Rishikesh. Then we started making calls. We were a little ahead because I had known, Sumo, Tata Sumo at that time, I remember, and the truck
Yeah.
being behind us. So in
Yes.
3 4 hours, we managed to call up a few friends in the mountains and understand where we can go. And we chose Manali because there was a trail, which was not being used at that time by anyone. So we would have been the only ones to walk on the trail. We and then that's it. And so we said, okay, so we'll go there. So we again, as an advance party, we went ahead, and the trucks kept on trailing us. So they came one day prior, and in the meantime, we found a base camp, which was basically a kind of a resort which was lying empty. They had some rooms, they had open lawns. तो हमने उसको बेस कैंप बनाया, वहाँ टेंट लगाए और कुछ rooms यूज करे, and then we set up the trail. So the planning that we did for a whole year to set up this program, we had to redesign the entire thing in 48 hours, and we set up the entire trail, and no business was lost except that everyone had to come to Delhi as a gateway, except for the buses flying to Garhwal. The buses changed direction to Manali, and we did the entire program with complete, uh, you know, the best of best, given, and everyone went back happy. So people still remember that year you changed the trail in 48 hours, and our holiday did not get spoiled, and they they really think very highly about us. So that was a
Wow.
good example of leadership, I would say. I remember.
Wow. I'm so wowed. So much of presence of mind. You just need to kind of step back and think about things objectively without panicking. And then, yeah, change your plan.
Yeah, and everyone was so disappointed, dejected. The team did not know what to do. So a lot of moral boosting for them. That don't worry, we'll do something. We'll find something. So just keep your spirits high. And that year we lost a lot of money. We lost a lot of money because of these
Oh,
wanted expenses. So I remember in '99 we suffered a loss of around 8 lakh rupees because uh,
hmm.
8
And
lakhs.
then,
99 was a huge amount.
yes, very huge.
As a new company, we were like, 97 we had just, started, and
Yeah,
97 we had taken a loss of 8 lakh rupees.
very hard lesson, a dear lesson, I would say. Oh, so you just mentioned that your team was also disheartened and losing hope. So, what did you do to exactly motivate them in that moment? What did you tell them? Did you do something? Did you say something to them? What was it?
I don't remember, but I'm sure I must have used the right words, and I must have, somehow, bugged them up, and they all did. I had a good team. I always have a
Yeah.
good team. Even now, my team is pretty good. I roam around
Yeah.
the world, and my business goes on. Uh, our resort goes on, our office goes on, our journeys goes on. We work remotely from the remotest of locations. So it's all about, I think, having a good team, and maybe the leader, we push all the right buttons. So that could be one reason for the success. I'm pretty sure.
So, what do you do to push on those right buttons?
I have no idea. I just talk to them.
Yeah.
I make sure that
It's
I understand them. When they make a
hmm.
mistake, I also howl at them. But then I make them see
Hmm.
the point. I make them see the mistake, and I tell them not to
Hmm.
repeat it, because पहली बार गलती नहीं होती है. पहली बार is like, okay, it's a learning. But if you repeat the same mistake, then I will not take it. Then as the leader,
Right.
I make sure that I switch, I change, or whatever I have to do. Because if somebody is unable to do a job properly, even after making sure that they have had their right training, then I switch. So the leader at that time has to kick in. So it's a mix of
Right.
it's a mix of training, it's a mix of laughter, it's a mix of showing the paths to them, a vision to them, exciting them. Yeah, so
Hmm.
it's a kind of a mix of almost everything.
Everything.
It's like a
And what is
multivitamin,
Okay, say that again.
like a multivitamin capsule.
Oh, great. Yeah, I like that allegory. Uh-huh. And what exactly is good team for you? Because you've used that word so many times. what how do you define good team? What are those ingredients for you that make them a good team?
Well, you're trying to make me really think hard because I've never put these
Really?
words. I'm not of
The
a.
way but the way things are flowing out, I mean, I don't think you have to think too hard. It's just
No,
going so much.
I'm not a
It's
theoretical
as if
guy.
it's just you. It's not even that you're thinking, it's just you.
I'm not a theoretical guy, so I don't read anything. I've never read a management book in my life. I've
I don't
never.
want those lessons. I don't want
So
those lessons.
yeah. So I've never ever read a
And our
management book.
audience also doesn't want those lessons. I mean,
I'm
what do
sure
you
there are
think? It's
many
a
of us
good
to read.
team.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I've never
I'm
read a.
just like you. I'm just like you. Although I'm read a lot, but I don't have a management background. And I derive
Yes,
my lessons from people like you.
I guess so. So absolutely likewise. I think I've learned my lessons from people around me, uh, and I think a good team is a team with uh, which bonds together, which
Yeah.
empathizes, which understands and respects each other. Nobody is at the same level. Everyone has shortfalls,
Unique. Yeah.
friends. I have a very popular saying, that we take you as you are. So we accept your shortcomings, we accept your strengths. That's how I induct my team, and I tell them to be as honest to themselves and to the business and to the work, because that's the first step. If you're not honest towards your own work and your own self, you will not be of any use to our organization or to me or to anyone else. So that's the first step. Yeah, so I think people who just eat together, bond together, work together, think about each other before, and they're more of like givers and less of takers. So I think that makes a good team.
Amazing.
And having said that, it's ऐसी कोई ideal team नहीं होती life में मैंने देखा है. Even as I
True.
speak, there are many such people in our own team
Right.
for on which we have to work again and again.
Yeah.
But I believe in giving as many opportunities as possible till that last minute comes, the saturation point comes. And I've never, maybe I think I'm right, I've never ever shown anyone the door. People have left because they come up to a point where they get completely strangled. They can't breathe in that environment, so they say I can't work. But I have never
Hmm.
said anyone that please leave. That's a door. Never ever.
That's that's a that's a great trait in itself. When simply through your actions you can create an environment where people can take that call for themselves, whether they belong to this place or not.
Absolutely, because if you are unable to do what you have been like inducted for, or you are expected to do this thing and you signed up for it, and after giving umpteenth opportunities, if you
True.
or you can be candid, you can come and say that okay, this is not working, switch me, change me to something else, and I will be better at that. And I'm very open
Yeah.
to we do that also.
And
I do that all the time in my office, that if you can't do this, do that. If you can't do that, do this. And I'm very open to that. No problem with
I feel at the end of the day, we all have to be accountable for not only our actions but also our results. So, yeah.
I have a very famous saying in my office, in my team that I I say that why does a person uh, leave an organization? And
Yes.
this is my own self, curated thing. I said, if I were you, मुझे तीन चीजें चाहिए. A,
Yeah.
a good culture, a great culture, in the office, which
Hmm.
me, say, okay, this is great, and I want to, work
Hmm.
in the company. Second, I need to have a lot of learning. मेरे को अगर
Right.
नहीं मिलेगी, अगर मुझे एक ही काम पे बिठा दिया, for example, I like ticketing example. Although we don't do ticketing, but if there's somebody who specializes in ticketing and वो सुबह से शाम तक खाली टिकट्स ही बना रहे हैं, तो
हाँ जी.
एक लेवल के बाद में मतलब there is no learning. You whatever you have learned, you have applied, and that's it. So you will keep on doing ticketing, so you are saturated. So अगर कोई learning extra नहीं है, then also I think I'll get bored and I will quit this company. And the third is the growth. If I if I apply all my learnings and if I gather more skill sets and I build my capacities and I take on
Yeah.
independent responsibilities and I don't get growth, I will not work for that organization. So I tell
Yeah.
everyone in my team that all these three things you must keep on getting from us. If you don't, you should leave my organization. But if I keep on giving you that great ambience, atmosphere, if you keep on getting learning from the office, कुछ ना कुछ नया सीखने को मिलता रहेगा and आपको growth भी मिल रही है, then I think you should be happy in our company. Or if you think that there are more greener pastures and you want to leave, it's a different point because obviously everyone has their own limits.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there is
And
always a bigger fish in the market to eat of the skill set people. So that's fine. There's nothing wrong in it. So
yeah.
these three things
And
I always tell my team that these are three traits that you must get from the company to be a part of my team.
right. And sometimes we just have to let go of things and people, and it's all for good.
It's evolution. It's very natural. There's nothing wrong in it.
Absolutely.
But you do
It's
it nicely. You do it with ethics. And
right.
there's nothing wrong in it.
Right. With no unpleasantness.
Absolutely.
If
Everyone should
everyone's
have
taking,
the
if
growth should be
everyone's,
for everyone.
yeah, if everyone's taking accountability, then I think the question of unpleasantness just never arises.
Absolutely.
Wow, I'm just loving this conversation. So as we are going towards the end of the podcast, uh, I see that uh, you, your interplay and so much of interaction with the nature, especially, has played a very deep and heavy role in how you have shaped up. And I can also see that there's a great acute sense of awareness, and maybe it is intuitive or it's got seeded into your subconscious or unconscious, but it just flows. So I see there's a lot of awareness there. I mean, awareness that you don't want to play with the nature. You are very aware and compassionate, that you don't walk the same trails, that you uh, stay kind to Mother Earth for so much of joy and love and lessons that she's giving you. I see you giving it back. So I want you to kind of share with our audience, with the aspiring leaders who are gonna watch this, what role you think awareness and awareness of self as well, not just surroundings, what role can it play in your evolution in the career? How knowing oneself helps rise in the career as well, and understanding what's happening around you and imbibing it.
Uh, again, interestingly, I go back to nature because you can only discover yourself when you have time for yourself. Uh,
Nice.
as of
Hmm.
now, when I sit in Delhi, I'm sorry to say I don't have time for myself. I I can't discover myself because I'm all the time bogged down with my work and my
Yeah.
responsibilities and duties. But the moment
Yeah.
I take off for any location or any product learning, maybe the mountains, maybe anywhere outside in the world, globally also, that is my
Hmm.
me time. That is the me time which makes me think and discover myself. Uh,
Hmm.
your self awareness can only come when you have time for yourself. And awareness, I think, is all about your own feelings, your own judging your own behavior, your characteristics, finding your
Right.
strengths, understanding that what you can do, what you cannot do. It's about
Right.
understanding, your cognitive, physical, and emotional self. Uh, the the vision to see clearly ahead. The ability to see your own reflection and introspection. If you have that trait to understand your personality and you kind of stitch it with whatever you want to do in life. If your personality is, let's say, A, and you want to do something, for example, if okay, whatever my personality is, but if I say I want to become a movie star, I don't even know how to, act. So how can I become a movie star, for example? It's
Right.
imaginable. So once you realize your own potential, that who your personality is, gauge your actions, your values, your beliefs, your ethos, your emotions, your strengths, your challenges, your mindset, your attitude. Put it together, shake it.
Hmm.
That's a diamond
Hmm.
you have with you, and
Yeah.
that is where you will never go wrong. Because if you know all these things about you, you will have the answer right away. Whether this is meant for you or this is not meant for you. Uh,
Yes.
so I think that's a very simple thing. It's not a very difficult thing. It's all about just discovering yourself. So people, I think, if they give time to themselves,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
will discover themselves, and the awareness sets in. The
Hmm.
awareness to do the right thing and the wrong thing. Example, when you drive a car, do you want to cross a red light? साथ वाले ने jump लगा दी because कोई नहीं है, खाली है. Do you want to do it? Maybe
Hmm.
somebody will say yes. Somebody will say I would never do it. So it's a
Right.
question of right and wrong. And right and wrong also, what I understand is, कभी कभार जिसको अच्छा लगता है वो चीज उसके लिए right हो जाती है, जो
हाँ
जिसको
जी.
अच्छी लगता है वो उसको wrong हो जाती है. I love the phrase by, I think, Mahatma Gandhi, that be the change you want to see, so something like that.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
truly believe
Yes. Be the change you want to see. Yes.
so I truly believe in that.
Yes. Great. Great. So, uh, the last question. So, everybody who listens to this podcast knows that Vasudha always asks this question, and she always gives this disclaimer before she even asks the question. So, I understand that you have arrived uh, at the places you had envisioned at the beginning of your journey and somewhere in the middle of the journey as well. And I am sure there are greater heights to scale. But I still believe standing where you are today, right now, here in this moment, what do you think has been your greatest achievement?
Uh, for me, there cannot be one greatest achievement, because it's not about a project that you could do, like an event that you could do, or it's a very organic process, and just the fact, and I think I can't be more grateful and humbled that wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, that's the greatest achievement, because like I said, I started from nothing, just 300 rupees in a pocket, and I had no idea what I'm going to do. I just flowed like a river. So my journey has been like a river which starts from the glacier of a mountain, and it keeps on, tossing, turning, meandering, from a small brook to a stream to a very turbulent, river with rapids. That's where the youth is there, and then it starts to calm down as it goes into the plains. So I've been flowing like a river. I had no vision. I remember very clearly, I was on a flight with a friend going to the US for a roadshow, and
Yeah.
that friend still, does a fantastic, business model, and he was very successful even then, even now. This is
Yeah.
2006, and I asked him his question. I said, I don't understand, how do people have visions, and where do they have the goals and aims, and how do they make it happen? It comes from within. I'm very sure. बट मुझे मेरे पास तो कोई विजन ही नहीं है, मेरे पास तो कोई एम ही नहीं, कोई गोल ही नहीं है. तो आई एम जस्ट डूइंग व्हाट आई जस्ट लव टू डू. तो
Yeah.
ही लाफ्ड एट मी, ही सेड कि यार कि जो तू कर रहा है तो ठीक कर रहा है. सो डोंट गेट पॉइंट ऑन इन these questions. You have your answer, and you will find an answer for yourself, very sure. And I was right.
So,
So idea for me is not to have a goal and move towards it. I'm sure many people do that and they're very successful, but I've
hmm.
never ever had a goal in life. I've never had a vision in life. Whatever
Hmm.
happened because I had this one small dream and I gave my full to it. It happened. Then again, I had a dream. Then again, I moved toward the dream. Again, the dream happened. And I'm sure I can write a book on it. And I will definitely write a book on it for only for myself. Because nobody's going to read it, I'm pretty sure, because there is
It.
nothing as such, that who would like to
I'm
read my book? I'm
gonna read
nobody.
it. I'm gonna read it.
But I'm going to write a book whenever I'm time, only for myself and
Yeah.
anybody who wants to, request and ask for it. So like मैं लिखूंगा because I feel I have uh, hundreds and thousands of these experiences which I've gone through. I've met incredible people in my walks, and it's all about a journey. It's never been a destination. So for me, the biggest achievement is the journey, and there has never been a destination, and there will never be a destination. So my journey is my biggest achievement.
That's the power of dreams. And it reminds me, as I'm listening to it, reminds me of this song. For me, this song is like the anthem of life. So this is by this band ABBA, which goes like this. I don't know if are you aware of ABBA? It's a very old band,
We
80s
grew
ka.
up with ABBA. I mean,
Yeah.
हमारे
So
age में तो ABBA
you
was, everyone
so
used
you
to.
must have heard of this. I'm sure you can guess it now. Which one could it be? I have a dream, a song to sing. For me, that song is like the anthem of life. It just kind of tuck what you said, just darts it. Wish you all the best. I'm so glad that your fairy tale has come true. And why just me? The entire reboot community feels happy to see a dream coming so true. And it is gonna give hope and courage to so many people to dare to dream and to follow their dream. And I think that's what every leader does, no matter what. So we wish you a great journey and greater heights to scale because you are a mountaineer. With that note, bye.